Hello everyone, welcome to the streets of New Capenna Commander decks. We have the Cabaretti Cacophony. It's a red, green and white commander deck, and it includes a collector booster sample pack, plus 2 legendary traditional foils. Right, so this is a complete deck, of course. On the back here we see what we get. I will be opening up the collector boosters in a different video. I will do that for all of the decks after each deck. The day after, or maybe a couple of hours later. I don't know. I'll see. I'll just post the collector booster, which is this one. I do that because I didn't see any other channels open them up separately, and I thought it would be fun to just see what's in there real quick. Right, so what do we get in the commander decks? Of course, the spin down. Well, no, of course not. It's not a spin down. It's a a dial of sorts. It only goes up to 40. Pretty useless, in my opinion. And we have a booklet of what the deck is all about. Then we have, of course, the etched foil commander card of the deck with some tokens, and the deck itself. Let's take a look at the commander card itself first. Kit Kanto, the Mayhem Diva, for 3. It's a 4 mana 3/3. And when Kit Kanto enters the battlefield, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. At the beginning of combat, on each player's turn, you may tap 2 untapped creatures you control. When you do, target creature that player controls get +2/+2 and gains trample until end of turn. Goad that creature. Nice. Alright, so we have some tokens here. We have an Eldrazi Spawn, an Eldrazi, a Cat Beast, a Devil, an Ogre, a Beast, and Tree Folk, an Elf Warrior, a Citizen, Treasure, and this. And goaded tokens, and +1/+1 counters. What's on the other side here? Oh, human soldier, soldier, insects, saproling, spider, worm, food, and rhino warrior. A lot of tokens, and I really dislike that these are double-sided because we don't have any doubles at all. I really don't like this. I cannot store this in any logical way without having the other side, so I will have to get more of these tokens. Ugh, I hate it. Alright. Let's just go on, continue, breathe, and just hope that the other decks won't have the same problem, because I really don't like that. Alright, so Kit Kanto, the regular version. Then we have Fabine, Boss's Confidant, for 6 mana. It's a 3/6. Creature tokens you control have haste, and it has Parlay. At the beginning of combat on your turn, each player reveals the top card of their library. For each land card revealed this way, you create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Then creatures you control get +1/+1 until end of turn for each non-land creature revealed this way. Then each player draws a card. Alright. Now for the rest of the deck. The Boss's Chauffeur. For 5 mana, it's a 0/0. Boss's Chauffeur enters the battlefield with a number of +1/+1 counters on it equal to 1 plus the number of other creatures you control. Then we have Alliance. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Boss's Chauffeur. When Boss's Chauffeur dies, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token for each +1/+1 counter on it. Cool. Grand Crescendo. Oh my god. Look at that. It's one of those 20s and 30s, what is it? Shows. I don't even know what it's called, but it reminds me of the song Copacabana. Fun. Fun. Grand Crescendo. For 2 white and X, an instant, create X 1/1 green and white creature, citizen creature tokens. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Master of Ceremonies. For 4 mana, it's a 3/4. And at the beginning of your upkeep, each opponent chooses money, friends, or secrets. For each player who chose money, you and that player each create a treasure token. For each player who chose friends, you and that player each create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. For each player who chose secrets, you and that player each draw a card. Indulge and Access. For 3 mana we have a sorcery side. Whenever a creature you control attacks this turn, create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token that's tapped and attacking. And then the Access side is Aftermath. You can only play it in your graveyard, then exile it. Create a treasure token for each creature you controlled. That dealt combat damage to a player this turn. Life of the Party. For 4 mana, it's a 0/1. First strike, trample, and haste. Whenever Life of the Party attacks, it gets +X/+0 until end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control. When Life of the Party enters the battlefield, if it's not a token, each opponent creates a token that's a copy of it. Whew. The tokens are goaded for the rest of the game. Oh, wow. Oh, that's insane. Nice. Rose Room Treasurer. For 4 mana, it's a 4/3. With Alliance, whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, create a treasure token if this is the first or second time this ability has resolved this turn. Otherwise, you may pay X. When you do, Rose Room Treasurer deals X damage to any targets. Seize the Spotlight. For 3 mana, it's a sorcery. Each opponent chooses Fame or Fortune. For everyone who chose Fame, gain control of a creature that player controls until end of turn. Untap those creatures and they gain haste until end of turn. For each player who chose Fortune, you draw a card and create a treasure token. Crash the Party. For 6 mana, it's an instant. Create a tapped 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token for each tapped creature you control. Killer Service. For 3 mana, it's an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create a number of food tokens equal to the number of opponents you have. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2 and sacrifice a token. If you do, create a 4/4 green Rhino Warrior creature token. So far, this whole deck really reminds me of The Great Gatsby. It has just the whole party aspect and the boss's chauffeur and everything. The glamour of the 20s and the 30s. Of course, the 30s were an economic disaster, but still, the 20s, the roaring 20s. This deck so far really captures that sense. Then we have a Scepter of Celebration for 3. It's an equipment with 3. Equip 3. Equipped creature gets +2 and has trample. +2, +0 and has trample. Whenever equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create that many 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Vivian's Stampede. For 6 mana, it's a sorcery, and each creature you control gains Vigilance, Trample, and Melee until end of turn. At the beginning of the next main phase this turn, draw a card for each player who was dealt combat damage this turn. Then we have Bess, the Soul Nourisher. For 3, it's a 1/1. Whenever one or more creatures with base power and toughness 1/1 enter the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Bess, Soul Nourisher. Whenever Bess attacks, each other creature you control with base power and toughness 1/1 gets +X/+X until end of turn, where X is the number of +1/+1 counters on Bess. Cabaretti Confluence. For 6 mana, it's a sorcery. You choose 3, and you may choose the same mode more than once. Either create a token that's a copy of target creature you control, it gains haste. Sacrifice it at the beginning of the next end step. Then we have exile target artifact or enchantment, and we have creatures target player controls get +1/+1 and gain first strike until end of turn. Prosperous Partnership. For 3 mana, it's an enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, create 2 1/1 green and white citizen creature tokens. Then tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Create a treasure. False Floor for 4 mana. It's an artifact. It enters the battlefield tapped. Creatures enter the battlefield tapped. And this is really funny. This is probably one of those paintings that really look as if it is a pit in the floor. Because you see all the creatures on the side here, just wary. And then for 2, tap, exile False Floor, exile all untapped creatures. Activate only as a sorcery. And maybe it can activate as an actual fake floor. Okay. Now we have the reprints again. Call the Copper Codes. Never heard of that card before. Never seen it before. Must be from Ikoria or Innistrad or something like that. So yeah, this is a reprint, and I won't go over the text for these, just the names. So we have Call the Copper Codes, Duelist Heritage, Felidar Retreat, don't know that one either, Fell the Mighty, Martial Coup, Agitator End, Kazul, the Tyrant of the Cliffs, Magus of the Wheel, Outpost Siege, Zurzoth, Chaos Rider, never heard of him before either, Arasta of the Endless Web, Awakening Zone, Beastmaster Ascension, Champion of Lambhold, Sandworm Convergence, Scoot Swarm, Shamanic Revelation, Sylvan Offering, Thunderfoot Baloth, Artifact Mutation, Assemble the Legion, Aura Mutation, Camaraderie, Gahiji, the Honored One, March of the Multitudes, Salvala, Explorer Returns, Idol of Oblivion, Canopy Vista, Castle Ardenvale, Castle Embereth, Cinderglade, Exotic Orchard, Fortified Village, Game Trail, Mossfire Valley, Rugged Prairie, Sungrass Prairie, Temple of Triumph, Windbrisk Heights. Then we have some cards from New Capenna itself, Rumor Gatherer. What is this? Is that a little elephant carrying a message? That is just and then, oh my god, look at that. And a giraffe carrying a message, a little giraffe. These are all on a bear in a book. Oh my god, this card is amazing. Just the art of it. Oh, she has a little bird over there. That's what Magic needed. Tiny animals carrying messages. I love it. Sizzling Soloist. We have Cabaretti Charm, Cabaretti Courtyard, and we go back to the reprints. Intangible Virtue, Orzhov Advocist, Path to Exile, Beast Within, Cultivate, Harmonize, Leafkin Druid, Sakura Tribe Elder, Wood Elves, Boros Charm, Arcane Signet, Bloodthirsty Blade, Commander Sphere, Felwar Stone, Sol Ring, Ash Barrens, Command Tower, Jungle Shrine, Myriad Landscape, Naya Panorama, Path of Ancestry, Thriving Bluff, Thriving Grove, Thriving Heath. Oh. Then we get the basic lands, the mountains, the forests. A lot of forests, and of course the plains. And we get the other cards. We have mountain, forest, oh, beautiful, and plains. Whew. So pretty indeed. There you have it for this Cabaretti deck. I like it. I like this deck, except for the tokens that are double-sided. I hate it. Ugh. Yeah, thank you all for watching, and see you all next time. Bye-bye.